Folks, after technical difficulties, I finally got this stuff going on. So what I'm doing is I'm set up at the skyway and I'm creating false current because the tide is just now starting to come in, but it's not coming in really quick. So I'm having to create a false current and get my chum into the current and then get the bait fish up into the current. But the tide is starting to move some, so that will help a little bit. But I was able to get the bait chummed up, and then I took a lot of time to get the cameras up and running. But I was creating a false current, allowing that current to run this way, throwing the chum into the current, and allowing that bait fish to come up into the current, or into the chum. Now you can see how this false current is working. It's kind of pushing it this way, and you can see the bait fish starting to kind of gather up on the side of the boat here. We'll go ahead and throw the net. Wasn't the prettiest throw, but I'll take it. You can feel the bait thumping in there. So that's good. Some weight to it. I'm throwing the dropout cast net, 10 foot, 3/8, 1.4 pounds per foot. Just like that, folks. And just like that, utilizing, if your anchor can hold you in position, utilizing your anchor and utilizing your motor to keep the motor in reverse, create a false current, get the bait fish up in the current and throw the net when there's no current running at all. The tide's starting to pick up a little bit more, so I probably won't need it, probably after this throw. But if your anchor can hold you in reverse and you can create a false current, I highly recommend doing that. All right, folks, I had to do my little trick to where the tide picked up on me very quickly. So I'm doing my trick where I throw behind the piling and create that false current, or not false current, but create that eddy. And if you look just to the left, you can see how many bait fish are down there. So I probably only need to throw one time and I'll be done. I can already see him flashing in the net. So that means I'm probably absolutely loaded up, which I can feel. And we are done. Well, folks, that's two different ways to catch bait at the skyway. One, when the tide's not running, and two, when the tide is running. Bait was a little bit of a pain in the butt today, but once everything started to line up, it became pretty easy. Since it's Friday, let's go ahead and get into the Friday fishing forecast and see what we have in store for this weekend. All right, folks, for Saturday, we have a low tide at 10:41 a.m. at a negative 0.4. Then we have a high tide at 5:19 p.m. at a 1.2 foot. Then we have another low tide at 10:24 p.m. at a 0.6 foot. On Sunday, we have a low tide at 11:17 a.m. at a negative 0.1. Then we have a high tide at 5:50 p.m. at a 1.3 foot. Then we have another low tide at 11:52 at a 0.3 foot. Then for the salooners on Saturday, we have a minor feeding time from 10:23 a.m. to 11:23 a.m. Then we have a major feeding time from 3:51 p.m. to 5:51 p.m. Then on Sunday, we have a minor feeding time from 10:55 a.m. to 11:55 a.m. Then we have a major feeding time from 4:38 p.m. to 6:38 p.m. Well, folks, those are the tides and salooners for this weekend. It looks like it's going to be a nice weekend. I think Saturday's going to be a little bit windier than Sunday. I think Sunday the winds are supposed to lay down some. Saturday's not going to be that bad. It's going to be a little bumpy offshore, but it's going to lay down in the afternoon. But it is going to start off bumpy. I've been hearing mixed reports of the bite inside the bay. I've been hearing from some folks that said it's really, really good, and then other folks that say it's really, really bad. So it's kind of a mixture between the two. Now, we went offshore on Monday of this last week, and Monday of this week, and we did extremely well on the mangrove snapper. But what was funny is I had to go from 15-pound test. I had to go to 15-pound test for my fluorocarbon because the snapper we're seeing it. The water was so clear, you could see your fish coming up in about 40 feet of water. So I had to drop down to a lighter leader, and as soon as I did that, it was fish on one after the other. We had a decent hogfish bite. Again, the gag bite was absolutely stupid. We would have caught a bunch of keeper gags. We caught some keeper red grouper, all in between 60 to 69 feet. So there's a lot going on offshore. If you can get offshore, there's a ton of fish to be caught. We caught a ton of grunts. You just got to go through a lot of grunts, but there's a lot going on. Like I said, the weather's going to be it's going to be beautiful. Sunday's going to be a lot warmer than Saturday, and the winds are going to be calmer on Sunday than Saturday, but there's still going to be both good days to get out on the water and fish. Saturday's going to start off pretty chilly, but warm up, just like today did. Today was absolutely beautiful on the bay. I wanted to go out and film and do a red grouper segment inside the bay, but my power pole move is throwing an error code saying it's an E2, which is low voltage somewhere, so I got to check it. I think I might know where it is, but I just wanted to come back to the shop to make sure. And then earlier on in this episode, I showed you how to catch bait on a slack tide and how to catch bait on a moving tide, and both of them worked extremely well. So again, I just want to say thank you to everybody for all the support. We've got whitebait, we've got pinfish, we've got fiddler crabs, and we've got shrimp at the office. So we're loaded down with bait for the weekend. Like I said, it's going to be a beautiful weekend. If you can get out and fish, I definitely would do it. The inshore bite, I think with this cold front, is going to turn on those hogfish, or not the hogfish, but the sheep's head, and I think that bite will be really good. Again, thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate it. Fish more, catch more, and we'll see you on the flip side.